Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Paul Barrett, and I have Tourette syndrome. About 6 years ago, the playwright Michael N. Forster, who has known me for quite a long time, and in a number of whose plays I have appeared, she said, "I never knew you had Tourette's," and she immediately said, "That's your one-man show. Yes, and we'll have a piano, because you're a musician too," and she immediately conceived the whole thing. For most sufferers, Tourette's syndrome is characterized by compulsive and convulsive twitching, or ticking. I don't recall observing it in myself first. The first person was a little friend of mine, a school-age friend. I was about 8 or 9, and I still recall to this day, to the exact point on the pavement where we were, when she said, "Why do you keep doing that?" I had this compulsion to keep turning in circles. And then I had to turn the other way to sort of balance it. And I remember Lynn pointing at me and saying, "Why do you keep turning round like that?" Of course, I had no idea. It just felt good. It was something I had to do. And she made me immediately, of course, conscious that, yes, I was doing this and I had no answer for it. But that was just the beginning, you know. By my teens, they were pretty bad.
My name is Annalise Twimlow. I'm 10 years old, 11 in November. Smiley face! Smiley face. Shut the fuck up! I have Tourette syndrome, so I have tics, so please don't pick on me and stuff like that.
Yeah?
And say fuck, and they fuck, say fuck!
I'm Matthew, I'm nearly 14. I live in West Melton. It's like when you do something, it's like it can be a vocal or physical tic where it's like a hiccup, you can't really control it. But some people, like, I can control it every now and then. Yeah.
I'm Tanya Humphreys and I live in Rangiora, and I was diagnosed with Tourette's about 7, 8 years ago. I've got 4 kids, aged from 17 till 3. It's just a big joke pretty much to them. They find my tics hilarious. Yeah, they know to avoid mum when mum's ticking.
River's trying to eat a big pellet. She has some move tics that she don't say, but some tics she can go Hong Kong toot. I know that one. And she can hit Caden 8 times like this. I know that because Caden hates it. But every time at dinner, she hits Caden.
I've burnt myself in the kitchen. I've had a small tic and dropped a ham steak into a pan with a bit of oil in it, and it splattered up and got me, but yeah. Other than that, I don't really worry too much about it, so. Oh yeah, and throwing drinks at people.
Now, these tics are mainly physical. There's, eye blinking, neck jerking, shoulder shrugging, jaw jutting, you name it, we'll twitch it. Yes, eyes and head mainly. They're very common ones, those. You see a lot of people with Tourette's doing variations on that over and over again. It's exhausting and deeply humiliating. Because of course you're completely conscious. You know, it's not like a fit where you black out. You're horrendously conscious, but you can't stop it.
I've had a throat clearing tic, so I was always going. I've used to clap my hands and stomp my feet, and my husband used to call that our ole tic because it was like a Spanish sort of thing to it. I hit myself. I hit other people, like so my hands will go flying out and I'll collect somebody, or they can be just right there when my hands go and they get. I now kick, I swear sometimes, I have, what else do I get? I have a lot of vocal ones where I go or pop, pop, pop. I have to go honk, honk and toot, toot. There's a lot of those sort of ones. Honk, honk, honk.
People think it's that thing where you yell out obscenities or profanities in very inappropriate places in public. Well, I'm sorry if this disappoints you, but only about 10% of people with Tourette's have that particular potty mouth syndrome. And I'm not one of them. So piss off, you fucking voyeurs. Just kidding.
Fuck, I say fuck, I say fuck, I say fuck, I say the F word. I fuck, I used what, I fuck, sorry. I fuck, I kind of do pull the finger sometimes.
Coprolalia is the urge to express or release inappropriate words in inappropriate places and in inappropriate times. I think it's probably has something to do with that adrenaline response of saying something that people sort of react to, and it gives them that nice kind of positive, well, not positive, but you know, a good reaction. So how it happens, I really don't know, because you can have children as young as 5 with coprolalia, and it's just, I don't know where it comes from. It's a really bizarre tick to have.
I am! Fuck. I am! Hi! Sorry.
But she is on the severe end of the spectrum for Tourette syndrome. She has quite severe motor tics as well as the vocal tics. I don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows why they get the coprolalia. It's just luck of the draw, really.
Only about 10% of people with Tourette's have that. Only about 10%. But they're the ones who get interviewed on Oprah or who get mocked, and that's fine, on South Park. Have you seen that episode? Somebody, I got Tourette's. Or what's the other one? There was even a character on our own Shortland Street who had coprolalia. Now, you might have heard the word coprolalia. You might have asked yourself, what does it mean? Well, copro means feces in Greek. Yes, poos. So coprolalia means talking obscene. Suck my dick! Yes, it's fun to learn Greek the Tourette's way. Yodeleli-ah, yodeleli-ali-ali-oo. Yes, it's fun to learn Greek. It's so easy to speak. Yodeleli-ah, yodeleli-ali-ali-oo. It usually starts in childhood. It's usually at its worst in teens. It's often gone through the 20s and early adulthood. Not in my case, unfortunately. Early puberty. And my tics are getting more and more noticeable, especially to my mother. Ken, you really need to have a word with Paul. I can't take him anywhere without him doing all this Twitch business. Ken, are you listening? Paul, he came into the bank the other day. Everyone noticed. Can't say I've noticed anything myself. Sure he'll be fine. Oh, Dad, I wasn't fine. By teens, I was in full flight with the obsessive repeating tics with eyes, head jerks, sniffing, not too many vocal ones, mainly physical ones. And which the bugger of it was, apart from the humiliation, the fact that you get very sore, is that, I mean, as if being a teenager isn't difficult enough anyway. You're already sore, you're growing, and it's strange things and, you know, wonderful things too. But it's a funny period, and you go mad for a few years. All boys go insane for a few years and then come back again.
Carl, building roads. Yes. Anything else? Yep, go.
Schoolwork, it's harder for me, easier for them. When you're always ticking and doing stuff, it's hard to focus. It's like when you're doing a math equation, you do a tick and then you lose it.
He got into a lot of issues and trouble at West Melton School and was bullied quite a lot, and would just sit in the playground by himself or sit in the classroom and had no friends. I'd get a phone call at least 2 or 3 times a week at work, come and pick him up, or He's been in a fight. It's really sad to watch. It's horrible. And the ticks, he's quite good now. He's actually very good at the moment. But some of the ticks were horrible, and they change sort of every month. There's something different. He has really bad nightmares, gets up screaming, running through the house. We found him out in the backyard in his underwear. He just gets out of the house. So we have to barricade the doors and put mattresses up and bolt all the doors at night.
We'll stand this mattress here so he can't go through the glass. This mattress here then slides across here. It's across there. Yeah, you've got to try and stop him from getting out, but you've got to make it so he's not going to hurt himself if he is trying to get out.
Because he runs really fast when he is out of bed. He just runs and he's screaming and doesn't know where he's going.
Fix! Paris!
They get deemed to be naughty because they're disruptive in the classroom. They're deemed to have learning disabilities because they can't complete their work as fast as their peers. And then a lot of them do get sort of tested and they're above average intelligence. A lot of parents I've talked to homeschool their children. Their teachers don't understand them, the kids don't understand them. The children get so distraught at disrupting those peers. They're very hypersensitive. And they feel other people's sort of feelings, I suppose, towards them. And they don't want to distract people. They don't want any undue, attention or pressure or what have you on them.
Today, we recognise Tourette's is a neurodevelopmental disorder. Neurotransmitters regulate messages through the basal ganglia, shown here in fetching lime green. The messages are sent through the prefrontal cortex, shown here in cheerful chunder yellow. But when they pass through the thalamus, shown here in this soothing shade of sky blue, the messages get screwed up thanks to susceptibility genes. So basically, the syndrome is caused by faulty dopamine regulation at critical points in the brain circuitry. Or in plain English, my wiring is crap and my filters are fucked.
Tourette's is a neurological fuck disorder that I have no control over.
Is that going to work, you reckon, now? It's a neurological disorder where, from my understanding, is there's a part in the middle part of your brain that has not wired properly, or it's sending signals wrong, and so it's just flashing off all these impulses and it's not filtering out them. So like a normal person will be like walking down the road, they might see somebody who looks really awful. Their brain will say, no, just keep walking. My brain might say, yell out, fatty, and it would be like, I can't not do it. It's not necessarily abuse towards people. It could just be that I want noodles, so I'm going to be walking around the supermarket screaming noodles.
It's called clinically the premonitory urge, the word premonition. People don't use the word premonitory very often as an adjective, but to have a premonition, a sense that something is going to come. So in sort of clinical analysis of this condition, it's called a premonitory urge, where you think, oh God, here it comes, I'm going to twitch.
I have it's like a build-up of energy at the back of me, like at the back of my shoulders, the back of my neck type thing. I can just feel this like urge coming, and so it's not all the time, it's just some of the time, and so I can just be able to stop, put something down, move back. It's only a couple of seconds before it happens, so it's not like I've got big warning. So, but yeah, it's just like this build-up of thing behind you. So yeah.
High school, the fourth form. It was there that I met my nemesis. Let's call him Gavin. Hey Barrett, come here. Hey Barrett, why do you keep doing this? Hey, what a bloody freak. You bloody mental, bloody queer. Oh, he's gonna cry. Oh, boo-hoo. I had always been an easy target for bullies, but I was beginning to learn that acquiescence confuses the hell out of stupid people. You must be a bloody mental. That's right, Gavin, I must be mental. You must be a bloody spastic. That's right, Gavin, I must be a spazzy. Couldn't have said it better myself. you give me cheek? Moi? Le cheek? Absolument pas, je vous assure, Gavin. Huh? Bloody freak.
There was always that one.
Tell me about that one.
He used to pick on me a lot and he was annoying. Like at school he used to just come along and hit me in the arm. It was annoying.
I love playing with my friend Amanda and Hannah and stuff, and Claudia and Malia and stuff, and Alice, and if they would let me play sometimes.
Yeah, what sometimes happens?
Well, sometimes they want to play by themselves. And yeah.
At primary school, it was really hard because I didn't have anybody I could turn to. We moved schools lots. It was like really, really hard, and it took me till I was probably about 15, and I went, nah, flag this, you know. I'm not going to be like everybody else. I'm not going to try and fit in. And that's pretty much when the picking on stopped. You know, I gave up trying to fit in. I embraced who I was and stuff, and people just went, oh, okay, hello, and all of a sudden I have all these people I don't know saying hello to me.
Oh, I was so odd. I was into music and theatre and I twitched. I mean, God, what chance did I have? No wonder. Now, I'd always known where my future lay, but it was customary to have a little consultation with the school careers advisor. So, oh, come in, Paul, sit down. So, what areas do you think you might be interested in? Oh, I'm going to be an actor. Yes, very amusing. No, I meant as a job. Well, I'm going to act. I want to act professionally. Have you thought about maybe being a plumber or electrician or a plumber or electrician? Well, no, I can't say I've considered those options. I try to give his suggestions some serious consideration. Plumber. Electrician. I'm on a building site. I'm wearing an unzipped blue boiler suit. I approach a fuse box. Suddenly, inextricably, I feel this overpowering urge to stick the screwdriver into the socket. Oh, it's so bad, I can taste it. No, yes, no, yes, no. Sorry, sir, I really think perhaps in my future career I should be kept away from live wires.
Don't start that! We wanted it to reality now, for goodness sake! What? As soon as you two get, it's always the same people.
Now, ain't nobody gonna start nothing. This here's a party. Andrew, sing. Dum-diddy-dum-dum-dum.
The farmer and the cowman should be friends. Oh, the farmer and the cowman should be friends. That's more like it. One man likes to push a plow, the other likes to chase a cow, but that's no reason why they can't be friends. That's more like it.
Acting was the very early instinct I had to perform and to entertain. So it was never a choice. It was always a sense of vocation that this is what I was going to do. Thanks, everyone. Good work.
I'm hoping to become a midwife. I've got to go back and redo my pre-health at Polytech because it's been too long since that. It's so that we know it's your balloon, so it's got your name on it, because Jacob's balloon's blue too. I've spoken to a couple of friends, or a couple of ladies when my friend was pregnant at one of her antenatal checkups, and they were like, I said about swearing at them while they'd telling them to push and stuff, and they're like, oh no, by that stage, we'd know about it, and it'd be quite funny. Yeah, so I think it depends on the people you get. Obviously, there'll be people that do not want somebody that's going to be ticking and saying boogers or something, or shove it back in once the baby's born, but that's just the way it goes, and they will say, look, hey, you're not going to be for us, and you'll get other people who are really relaxed and chilled out and can handle somebody going, woohoo.
I want to fuck be a kindergarten teacher and fuck when I grow up because I love children.
I'm actually not that sure, right? Still thinking.
Wellington, 1980. I'm 23 years old and I get offered my first professional gig. Now, Circa Theatre was a tiny space, only seated 100 people, so the audience was very close, very, very close. Never mind, I'm on. Oh no, this is a new one. I get obsessed with popping and flaring my eyes. Oh shit, stop it, stop it. Oh God, I feel like a cheap model. Anyway, the after-show drinkies, this quite well-known film director comes up to me and says, well, interesting new talent on the scene. Yeah, good performance up there. And I love that little flaring thing you did with the eyes. Nice character touch. And of course, I was absolutely horror-struck. I'd somehow convinced myself that maybe they couldn't see it. That maybe they couldn't, but the audience is only that far away. Of course they can see it. But it didn't stop me, and it didn't stop people casting me, I guess, so here I am.
Hey, the farmer and the cowman should be friends. No, territory folks should stick together. Territory folks should all be pals. Cowboys dance with the farmer's daughters. Farmers dance with the rancher's gals.
My granddad once told me I should go get an operation. And I was like, no. And he's like, yes, there's operations out there that can fix you. And I'm like, no. And in the end, I turned around and said, look, I don't need to be fixed. There's nothing wrong with me. And I think he told me I needed a lobotomy at that stage. It was all really funny at the time. And but it's like, I don't want it. I don't need it. It's not stopping me from living. There's no point in changing it. So, yeah. So that's how I feel about it. So, yeah.
Well, fuck was fine for me, but not for my mum and dad. The fact that they were like, oh my god, stop that, Emily, stop that, and the fact that they were getting really annoyed at me, and I'm just like, no, I can't stop, Mum. Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed, can't you stop? Oh, well, all right then. I was having such fun too. No! Would you, as I say in the play, help me? Why don't you just bloody help me? And it's not as if somebody said to me recently, helpfully, well, it's not as if they knew what it was in the 70s. I said it was diagnosed in the 1880s by Gilles de la Tourette.
Fuck. If they're pulling the fingertip.
Yeah, I imagine that could be quite annoying for you, eh?
Yeah.
And Annalise had always sort of displayed traits of, she is ADHD very much so, but she'd also displayed traits of OCD and those sorts of things. And then after the earthquake, she started cartwheeling, and she couldn't stop cartwheeling, and she'd cartwheel everywhere and would say, Annalise, you can't do that, this is a shopping mall, stop cartwheeling, telling her off, so stop that. But she just couldn't stop. And then not long after that, she started vocalisations, noises at the beginning, just really annoying noises. And then she began stuttering. And so one day I just couldn't take the noise anymore and rang up the child mental health services and tears going, I can't do this anymore. So we went back. We probably had 6 months of her being sort of observed and being put on medication for ADHD. And then just one day, out of the blue, we think Annalise has Tourette syndrome. We don't treat her any differently. If we want to go out, we go out. Someone once said to me, how can you let her go out like that? Why don't you just stay at home? I thought, well, I'm not going to wrap her up in cotton wool. She needs to be part of society, and society needs to learn to accept her for who she is.
And all those people that sit there and make comments and, think it's funny, don't laugh. Because unless you know us, you shouldn't really laugh at us. I'm happy for my friends to have a good laugh with me because I know them, they know what it's about. But people that don't, that sit there and make comments or judge you or judge the kids that have it, that can't help it.
Just to ignore it, and yeah, we can't, people like me can't help it though.
We can't help it, so if I feel like, don't get angry if we pull the finger at you, just be like, oh, that's okay, I know you have Tourette's or anything and stuff.
You don't necessarily want people's, overt sympathy, but you just want to be treated as normal, I suppose, Because you are in every other respect, it's still normal, just got this funny little thing you can't control,
If you meet a guy who is restless, obsessive but witty, if you meet a guy who is fired up, impulsive, compulsive, yet pretty damn smart, but he just can't keep still, just won't switch off, don't be fooled by his antics, don't conclude he's an ass. Don't send him off to the back of the class. That guy you just met, just let him be. 'Cause that guy you just met, that guy you don't get, well, he might be me.